What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So it seems Dominic Grieve and his fellow rebel ex-Tory members who got booted out of the party for voting against Boris Johnson in relation to the Surrender Act, otherwise known as the Ben Bill, are now sending letters to the EU in a continuation of their traitorous attempts to block Brexit. You gotta remember, these guys were all running around saying that Boris Johnson wouldn't get a deal, so we need to stop no deal. When Boris got a deal, they all started clamouring to make sure that we couldn't leave the EU, because at that point, there was nothing left for them to hide. It was all or nothing. They just had to stop Brexit. But the Express is reporting on it with the headline, Dominic Grieve and rebel Tories write to EU demanding 8-month Brexit delay. Former Remainer Tories, including Dominic Grieve, have written to the EU to ask for an 8-month Brexit extension in an attempt to hold a second referendum. The European Union agreed to a Brexit delay of up to 3 months yesterday, just before MPs voted down Prime Minister Boris Johnson's third attempt to hold a general election on December 12th. Now, EU leaders have been sent a letter signed by whipless Conservative MPs, including Mr Grieve, Lord Heseltine and Guto Bebb. According to Huffington Post's Paul Waugh, former Tory Minister Lord Deben, Viscount Hailsham, Lord Willits and former Number 10 aide Lord Cooper of Windrush are also said to be on the list of traitors. The letter said, "We are determined to work across the political spectrum with all willing political parties and individuals to secure such a confirmatory vote. However, an extension to January 31st does not allow sufficient time for this to be organised under the UK rules. We therefore urgently request the EU and governments throughout Europe to allow the UK citizens, who still remain EU citizens, the right to confirm their views on our future relationship with the EU. In order to do this, we would need 6 to 8 months to secure and hold a confirmatory vote." No, you just want another 6 or 8 months to try and delay and block Brexit. It's got nothing to do with a confirmatory vote. You'd fudge the results anyway, Grieve. You look like a testicle. Mr Johnson failed on Monday, as we all know, to get the 2/3 majority needed to secure an election under the Fixed Term Parliament Act. The government fell 135 votes short of the 434 required to get an election under the Fixed Term Parliaments Act on Monday. After the vote, he said he would try again by a legislative route that would only require a simple majority. He told Parliament, "We will not allow this paralysis to continue, and one way or another, we must proceed straight to an election. This House cannot any longer keep this country hostage. No, it can't." To follow this route, Johnson will need the support of opposition parties such as the Scottish National Party and the Liberal Democrats. The parties are in favour of going to the public on December 9th because they believe it would prevent the withdrawal agreement bill being passed, even though Boris Johnson has said it's being shelved until after the election. Former Attorney General Mr Grieve called Mr Johnson's attempt to get an early election blackmail last week. He said on Newsnight it's a form of blackmail, a sort of Morton's fork. You've got to sign up to an early election, and in the meantime, in return, I will allow you to consider a piece of legislation for a short period. That actually, we all agree, requires rather longer. It's a major piece of legislation. Jeremy Corbyn said the Labour Party, who abstained on the FTPA motion yesterday, would want to scrutinise whatever the government put forward. Shadow Transport Secretary Andy MacDonald said Labour is unlikely to change its position to back the government on an election. Well, he was wrong there. He told Sky News, "I think it's very unwise to be having a general election in the run-up to Christmas." The SNP's Westminster leader Ian Blackford added they would need a cast-iron guarantee that Mr Johnson would not try to bring back his deal to Parliament. Well, once he's got a majority, he can do what he bloody wants, mate. So, yeah, I don't want him to bring the deal back to Parliament, but let's be honest, it's what he's going to do. But Commons leader Jacob Rees-Mogg attempted to win them over by confirming that Mr Johnson's new bill would mean his Brexit deal would not be brought back before MPs. Commons Speaker John Bercow said opposition MPs would have the ability to table amendments to the bill on Tuesday. Of course he would, because John Bercow's a fucking traitor. We already know this. But as you can see there, the bunch of ex-Tory rebels are still working flat out to stop the democratic will of this country. Absolute traitors. It's a complete disgrace. And this video definitely needs to be shared, guys, because we need to get this out there to the public so they know for a general election what these idiots have been doing. So on that note, I will end this video there. I want to thank the channel's PayPal, Patreon and Subscribe Star members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, Subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. This Parliament is a disgrace. But they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.